Hey everybody, how's it going? So thank you for coming along to this very special episode. We are going to be touring Dismayland. Hooray! Now I did want to do this as part of the longer episode where I showcase all of your parks, but I've had so many submissions that I actually want to focus mainly on what you've submitted in that episode. So we're going to do an extra sneaky episode for you guys. So this is it. If you haven't seen the series, then we are just doing a mini series, a couple of episodes where we've thrown together a real quick park that's really unloved, really quite crap. But it's been a really fun series to do because it's taught me just how much you can cut corners and still have things look good. It's great. It's like the perfect corner cutting park. So here we are in our fictitious town or city or whatever you want to be. It doesn't have a name. It's based on Western Supermare and it's based on Tropicana and how Funland has been set up inside an old abandoned swimming pool. So that's what we're going for here. So this is the city. I've just done some fine details. You can sort of download the park for yourself. I put the link for the Steam download in the workshop. And no, wait, I'll put the workshop link in the description. Oh, it's a good start to the episode, guys. Oh, I'm not even sorry. Right, so let's go down towards Dismayland then. So as I said, this is I'm in Tejidcam. Look. Hooray, actual Tejidcam. So Dismayland, as I said, it's based on this old swimming pool that's now been abandoned, and this company has taken it on, and they've decided to create their own version of an amusement park inside. It's more likely a travelling fair. It's semi-permanent, so the roller coasters and stuff are plumbed into the ground, but they could be removed easily if they wanted to just leave. So think along the lines of how Samurai at Thorpe Park is. That's an actual travelling ride that's been made semi-permanent. It's sort of concreted in and stuff. It's similar kind of principle to that. So this is the outside. The outside of the building wouldn't have actually had much done to it. It's all sort of like the old original architecture. It's just been tarted up and it's been made to look a little bit tacky and a little bit rubbishy from the outside. You know, like putting all of these flashy signs and fancy fonts and stuff on here, bit of neon just to make it look relatively good, but otherwise it would still be as it was when it was a Lido back in the day. All they would have done is just filled in the pond. So on the right hand side here we've got a gift shop. In the middle we've got our like entrance area. This would have been the former ticket office where you bought your tickets and stuff, and then on the left hand side we've got a cafe restaurant type thing. So we're going to start over here with the cafe. So this is Surfside Cafe. It sells ice cream and coffee and hot dogs and donuts apparently, although I don't know why this one's shut. Oh well, whatever. I've entered the Park of the Guests, by the way, for a couple of reasons. I still need to put this into the scenario editor and change the guest spawn rate. You would have seen in the previous episode that it gets a little bit crazy. And also I wanted to save a bit of the frame rate. I do have a little bit of stuttering because of the sheer amount of stuff I've put into a small space. So I just wanted to give the best that I possibly can. So that's what I'm going to say on the frame rate. Just expect a little bit of stuttering, that's all. So inside the restaurant then, I have made it quite modern on the interior. It's white and it's very beach themed. I wanted to keep the idea of it being a bit of a coastal area and a coastal cafe, so it would be open all year round, but it'd be busier in the summer and stuff. You don't need a ticket to be able to eat in here or to buy stuff from here. It's like literally a passing thing, and maybe at night it turns into a bar, so you can have music and stuff that's playing in here. And it's the real life counterpart, by the way, in Western Supermare has an entranceway here, and it leads into the back area, and that's a nightclub. It's awesome. It's like I didn't realise it was hidden, but yeah. So that's kind of the idea that I was going for here. It's more of a bar cafe kind of thing, and so we've made it functional. And then we walk this way, and we're going to walk out into the main foyer. So the idea of this is it's supposed to be industrial. Remember that this is not supposed to be a ticket office for a theme park. It's just pulled together because they can. So this isn't a paid entrance kind of theme park. This would be a buy your tokens, buy your tickets, buy your wristbands, whatever, and this is where you would buy them. So I wanted to put this in an area that you're very much likely to walk past it, because these are the main entrance doors, right? And then you've got some over here as well. So I wanted it to be in a bit of an awkward position, as if much to say, oh, we're just going to reuse what was here originally because we can. So I've kitted this out then with all of the details and stuff that you would expect. Haven't put any videos on this one. I kind of figured that you guys as creators, when you're doing your submissions and everything, you would. So, but I came up with with a slogan, not good, not totally terrible, because it's just a bunch of fairground rides put into an empty space, and I wanted this idea to be industrial as I possibly could as well. So I've put all of these concrete pillars and stuff in here, the girders and whatever, and of course the fluorescent lighting. As I said, this is not meant to be a theme park ticket office. This is meant to be just some crappy little thing that they've taken over and made very little effort to. And so here we go, we've got two of the rides, so we're going to go out that way into the park in a second, and then we've just got the gift shop along here. Again, this is somewhere that would be open all year round, so it's somewhere that would sell buckets and spades and typical paraphernalia that we would use on beaches and whatever. And it's open all year round, but we're using it in here as a gift shop. So this is all of the tap that you could possibly buy. You'd find all sorts of stuff in here, inflatables and just everything that you can imagine that you would use on a beach. And so I've monetized this area as much as I can, put in some stalls and stuff along here, and just some games units and whatever. The idea of this place would be to monetize as much of the space as you humanly possibly can. And then when you walk out into the actual park, you get the view of the Thorpe coaster. So again, I wanted this to be semi-permanent, and that's why we've got permanent supports in here rather than the temporary supports that you see on the likes of Olympia looping. I've done this as a design decision, so I wanted this to be plumbed in. And I love this layout. I've used this layout so many times before in many parks, and the idea is that this would just be an off-the-shelf model, right? So you would see the same model around the country, and it's based very loosely on Turbo at Brighton Pier, which is also another coaster. I think it's somewhere up north somewhere. So it's just an off-the-shelf carbon copy. We're going to go on a ride on that in a moment, but I just want to show you the rest of here. So we've got the merry-go-round taking pride of place. Absolutely awesome. I love this temporary fence, and I love the fact that I've mismatched the fence as well. I wasn't too sure when I actually put it together, but I actually quite like how it's come across. And then sad man with our test your strength machine. Again, it's just monetized as much of the area as you possibly can, and so just milk as much money as possible. And then we've got the Ferris wheel. Now, the idea of the Ferris wheel was to compete with the one that's outside, but it's on a much rubbisher basis. It's on a worse basis. So it's like, hey, we've got a Ferris wheel too. I just kitted this out with just some stuff. Like I used the vintage pack just to give it a bit of decoration. I actually quite like how it turned out. I said this in the episode. I like the vintage pack because it's full circle rubbish. Like, it's tacky, but it's perfectly tacky. So this is the Ferris wheel, and then we're going to come over this way, and here are some trampolines. We use these quite a lot in the UK. I don't know about anywhere else in Europe, but we use these quite a lot in the UK. They're awesome. They're so much fun. so much fun. And they've just got some games units here. I just wanted to fill out the space just to give it a bit of, again, monetization options. So we've got some grabber units and stuff. Kind of hides the roller coaster from behind as well. But then there is also this hedge that just does that job for us. And then, of course, fill as much as you can into the space. So we've got ourselves a Lupo plane in here. It's a small, compact ride. It fits in that space quite nicely, and we are done. And then over the other side, we've also got Hyper Jump. It was originally the Ascendants, but I changed it out for the Hyper Jump. And that's, again, it's a semi-permanent installation, and that's done by design. And it's put there because it has to have some kind of stability. If you would put it over this way, you're going to start to lose some of the stability to the sea. So this is the area that's got the most ground surrounding it that can support it from underneath and stuff. So I know this is an S&S drop tower, and they do, or drop shot or whatever they're called, and they do tend to have hydraulics, but we don't have any other drop towers in game. So the drop tower that would be used would be the likes of Detonator at Thorpe Park, and that doesn't have a separate pneumatic house and stuff, so we're just gonna have to squint. We don't have another ride type to use, so we'll just get over it and be done with it. So we're gonna walk out this way, and we're going to walk past our first stalls. So the idea of here is we've got Christmas markets, and we use these kind of stalls. They're just sheds. They're just shacks, and I explained the whole reasoning and everything in the episodes. Each one was a carbon copy of each other. They're like that by design, and they're just filled with different stuff. So in this instance, we've got Cosmic Cow, and then I've used Fisherman's game stalls in this one, but just because they are so good. Like, I used them in Fundy Fun Spot, and they are just fantastic, and I wanted to use them again. So we've got Dunker Duty, so we're all good. And then we've got some more game stalls over here. So you're now starting to get the idea of just how much of the area we are monetizing and just how tight the space is. It's just, doing a tour from this level is just so much fun, because you just get to see stuff as it was designed. All of the other episodes focus on being from above, right? Isometric almost. This is actual guest level. This is amazing. This came from Lee on the workshop. Lee actually submitted something for Fundy Fun Spot, and this was also on your workshop, so I've pulled this off, and it's just perfect in this location. This is just absolutely spot on to what I wanted here, so I just couldn't not put it in. It's just so good. Hello, Tiki. It was just so good. So, yeah, it was no-brainer to put this in, and it finishes this area off really, really nicely. So it looks really, really good. We're just going to walk through Fisherman's bit. I have had to just do some temporary queue line and everything along here, because, of course, the game forces us to have queues in the game. But ultimately, what would happen is you would actually load and board from the side here, and you'd probably gather out the front if you did want to ride. But yeah, with the Harris fencing, this actually looks perfectly acceptable. I like how this has come down, because it is just a temporary queue. It's like it feels like it's Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park. It's great. And then we still get some amazing views of the coaster as well. So you get really, really close to the loop and everything. And again, this is very much inspired by how you interact with Brighton's Turbo. So Tiki, you're just following us around now. You're stalking us, you weirdo. So, we've also then over here just got our further units as well. So I wanted to fill in as much of the space as I possibly could with as many shops as I could physically fit in. And then, of course, you've got all of the back of house stuff that's going to be surrounding this area as well. So you'd have bins and whatever that are just on show. They just wouldn't hide them. They just wouldn't have the effort. They wouldn't be so inclined. And so there you go. There's just more shops and stuff. Right, so we're going to go on the roller coaster. So we're going to come over here. Now we're going to try and do this. Now that I've done this a couple of times and I've ended up on the roof. So I'm at that point now where this is the 6th time I've recorded this bit, and I'm not doing it again. So if we end up on the roof, we're just going to go straight on the ride. So it happens. So we're going to walk up this way. This is all like temporary. So this would be all like metal fencing and stuff. And the idea is that you get a good view from here. So I've done this by design. I rather than having it on an entrance and exit on the one side, I actually wanted this to have on the opposite sides. Timing on this coaster is actually really good. I'd forgotten how good it is. And when it's loading as well, it's ready to dispatch as the next train arrives. I'm like, oh, I did a good job with that one. Imagine. So there you go. Awesome view of the coaster from the actual queue line. And then the final helix there. It's supposed to be rough. It's supposed to be not unbanked, but not completely banked. It's supposed to be a bit too fast for the space, because that's what they are. They're if you ever ride Turbo, it's just an experience. It really is. But anyway, let's go on this. I'll see you in a minute. awesome. I so love that layout. It's just so good. Such a travelling roller coaster. I love it. So, yes. And this is the station, by the way. So I wanted to start in here. I wanted to show you the tactile flooring and everything because this would be a temporary station. But it's been made semi-permanent. It's really, really weird. So you'd have all of the beams and the structures and everything in here. It's going for that like 90s modern feel, you know, where everything was angled and everything was off-center and that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm going for in here. I think I've nailed it in a cheap and tacky way. If this was in a park, I would probably have put loads of other details and stuff in here, but this is just going to be metal sheeting. That's all it is. It's all you get. There's nothing like too detailed and everything with this. But of course I put all the station details and stuff in here, so everything that you use. But you don't have push points. You don't have stuff that are manned along this area. You don't have security side. Like, there's loads of stuff that this travelling fun fair would do or wouldn't do that a real park would, and it's really difficult to kit that out because I'm so used to using ridiculously high detailed stations, but now I had to really strip it back because there's a lot of stuff that you just don't do in a travelling coaster. It's weird. So anyway, we're going to come down this way. We've got some toilets in front of you because why not? And then we've got spinny spewy section. So the idea behind this was to put all of the spinny spewy rides together. Just so that people congregate in that area rather than spread it around. There's no real like strategy with this one. The first one we've got is the Scissor Wannabe. So I decided to actually use the Hurricane in game because the pad is smaller. But in reality, this would probably be the Scissor model, where, you know, it's full of lights and full of sounds and full of all sorts of stuff. This works just as well. And then I've also raised it up ever so slightly. So we've just got this metal stuff on here. And I wanted this to feel like it's either been taken off the back of a trailer or it is the back of a trailer that's been lowered down to ground level and then the wheels and stuff have been hidden. So that's what we're going for here. And because, again, we're forced to do queues in Planet Coaster, I've put some Harris fencing around and this becomes the queue. And this actually looks way better from peep level than it does from the top. This actually feels right. And I just wasn't sure when I was designing it, but it feels right, and that's the main thing. So then we're going to come across this way. This is my favourite ride in the entire park. I wonder if I can, there we go, get a better view. It's Gyro, and it's just the perfect spinny, spewy ride that's just full of sound and full of all sorts. There's smoke as well that comes up. There's strobes at night. I did the night tour in the previous episode, so if you want to go and see that, like strobing and stuff at night, then that's the tour to go and watch, or that's the episode to go and watch. And it's just this fascia that's here, lots of lights. It's just garish. It's perfect. It's exactly as I wanted this to be. And of course you've got the fake floor as well. This one's a wooden fake floor, and then it just comes down. Oh, can you imagine? It's making me feel sick just even watching it, so no. I wanted to put these ticket booths around. None of the ticket booths match the rides, and that's because all of these ticket booths would essentially be piled onto the back of a lorry. Oh look, there's some smoke. Would be piled onto the back of the lorry, and they would just be placed wherever in the park. They wouldn't be attached to a ride as such. So that's why this just does not match this, and that's perfect. That's exactly why I wanted to do it. We also have a star flyer. It makes absolute sense that this is this side of the park because the sea is the other side of this wall, even though ignore the hills. They're not there. The sea is the other side, so this would give the perfect view of the coast, the perfect view of the sea. It's as far out as you can get. It's the equivalent of having a pier, so I wanted to use that in this space. It's the biggest pad we have, and I wanted to prove that you can do it, and plus anything else I put in here, ironically, didn't fit because it was too small for the space. So, yeah, I used it instead, and it looks alright. I'm pretty pleased, pretty chuffed with it. So we're going to come this way. We've just got some more monetization stuff, you know, games. I'm not too sure whether this area would be too small for pathways, because this is quite a busy area. It's towards the back. It feels alright as I'm down at peep level. This feels like it would be right, about the same width as this queue. So I'm not too bothered, but I'm still questioning it. I'm not entirely sure. But we're going to come over to, what do I want to show you? This isn't called Forge. I've been calling this Forge, right? It's not Forge. It's fine. No one noticed, so whatever. I think it's not called Forge. I'm doubting myself now. Whatever. This ride. This is amazing at Winter Wonderland. I've never seen one of these in real life other than Winter Wonderland, and they are so good. I know that Blackpool Pleasure Beach had one. Bling, I think it was called, but I never got to ride it. I never got up there in time, so I've seen one of these at Winter Wonderland. They're so cool. And then over this way we've got Ribs and Smoothies. This is a more permanent but temporary shack. This isn't like one of the ones that you can just plop down that we use in the Christmas markets. This is a bit more considered and has a bit more design flair to it, and it's got a bit more stuff going on. And then I just put a seating next to the ride area, so I wanted to include that next door to this coaster that we're going to go on next. So I just wanted this ability to have that coaster. And then this ice cream shack was made by Glenpig, I think. Again, this was one I used in Fundy Fun Spot on the seafront, but it kind of got a little bit forgotten on the seafront. It was just there. The idea was that it was supposed to go there. That's exactly the area it was supposed to be, but it didn't get enough love, so I've put that into here, and it looks amazing in this spot, especially with the bunting and all sorts. It just looks really good. So the coaster through here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Yeah, I can. So the coaster through here, I've actually put loads of boards down, and the idea is that you can run electrics and stuff underneath these boards, and it creates a bit of a temporary floor. These would be trimmed in and plumbed in around the footers and stuff, so these footers wouldn't be sitting on these boards, because no, these boards would not support the weight of this coaster. I know that, but the idea of these boards is you can run cables and you can run pipes and stuff underneath it, and they're just out of the way of the guest. It's a bit less of an eyesore. But with that, you also get stuff that starts to poke through, so you get growth of weeds and plants and stuff. So that's what I've done here, is I've made sure I've included that. And then we're going to come round this way to the actual queue of the ride. So this is called Hangman. It was one of our community members that have actually named this one. It was part of a competition that I always run for names of coasters and stuff, and the station design is very much based on the whatever it's called at Breen Leisure Park. It's just this, again, it's this shed. It's a shed, that's all it is. It's nothing special, it's just a shed. But it's a corrugated metal roof, bit of decoration on the front, a bit of a logo, a bit of a sign, but no real marketing put into it. It's just ideal, it's just perfect. So we're going to come into the queue this way, and this is again the tactile flooring that's acting as a ramp, because this would again be a temporary structure in a travelling fair. We're just using it as a permanent one. And then fluorescent lighting. No effort with the lighting on this one. It's just is what it is. And look, it's a really awful view from the station. It's really uninspired, but it's exactly as I wanted it to be. It's just like perfectly crap. So it is an El Loco, by the way. It's a standard model. It's the same layout as Mumbo Jumbo is at Flamingo Land here in the UK. So it's it's just a mess of track. It's just perfect. So let's go for a ride. Tell you what, the timing on this coaster is alright as well, actually. Did a good job on this one too. Look, there you go, out and in at the same time. Love it. So we've got exit and entrance on the same side for this one. Again, that's done by design. And then we're going to come out this way, and you're straight away greeted with food. So if you're not feeling sick, buy things straight away. We've got some toilets in case you do feel sick, so you're catered for everybody. So this is the exit to the Ghost Train ride. In here, so it's a shooter ride. We're not going to go through that way. We're actually going to come out They come out the side here. So I just wanted to point out the fake flooring. So this is something that Funland and Breen Leisure Park do. So to cover up the concrete and the boring side, they actually put this fake flooring down. It's a bit more of a felt flooring, but we don't have that kind of luxury in Planet Coaster. I've actually ended up using the art shape, so it's looking a bit shinier than it normally would. But they use different colours for the different areas to sort of give it a bit of variation. So that's what I'm doing here. I've got green down this way, and I chose green because it's a colour clash combination with what we've got with the coaster, and then red for Ghosthouses. So that's because the Ghosthouses logo is red, and there's also, I don't know if you can see it in the background, there's yellow down by the whirly rig. So I'll show you that in a moment. So we're going to come back around this way just as our Knot Forge is kicking off. Yes. Great views, like great interaction with everything, because everything is so close and everything is so tight. It feels so good. It's like quite imposing. So this is the hub. So we've been here. The Dodgems. Oh, the Dodgems. I accidentally came across some stuff. So for this one, you do have to ignore the fact that the entrance bollards are out the front here and the exit gate is stuck in the middle of nowhere. But the pad, as we know, for the Dodgems is quite large, and the pad for this actually comes out here. Well, it makes it really claustrophobic, and it's not very realistic because Dodgems do tend to have quite a small footprint. So what I did here was I found these Thememaker Toolkit benches on the workshop, and I've actually put them down because you can place them and clip them through the pads and stuff. And so if you place your entrance and exit in a specific way, the guest AI pathing doesn't actually interact with the rest of the pad. So you're free to decorate all of this stuff and make it look like it's an extended path, when in reality the path ends about here. And it gets quite a crush, as you probably have seen in previous episodes. But yeah, this is like the perfect way of doing this. So you just put some fences up, and then you put some fences along here, and then just pretend that the path carries on. Now what you do get is you end up with this exit gate that comes out here, but you just kind of have to just deal with it. You can't get rid of it, so don't fight with it. But it looks really good from the sides. So this is what I wanted, and it also means that you buy yourself a little bit of space as well between like this fence here and this fence here. But it's fake. It's fake space. You don't have this space to play with. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Another test of strength, another gulpy place, the more sweets and stuff. We're going to go on this coaster in the background, but I want to talk about Ghosthouses first. So Ghosthouses, yes. I had originally used all of the Ghostbusters stuff, so I have still kept the Cedric Hotel and whatever, but the Ghostbusters stuff was in here. But it felt like this park actually wouldn't buy the IP and the license rights for Ghostbusters. Oh, look at this clipping. Shush, don't look there. Oh, no, there's no more there. It's fine. Just look here. The park's not finished. That's how rubbish this park is. Oh, it's here as well. Oh, no. It's fine. Whatever. We're done. I'm not going back to correct it. Sorry, as I was saying, they wouldn't actually buy the IP. They would infringe on IP as much as possible. So rather than Ghostbusters, it's Ghosthouses. Yeah. So inside here, we've just got a really crappy queue. It's just full of tat. It's full of cheap, nasty stuff. This ride is not meant to be expensive. It's, even though we're using an expensive ride type that comes in the game, it's a shooter ride. This ride is not supposed to be expensive. It is supposed to be pulled together with a bit of sticky back plastic and blue tack holding things up. It's very much inspired by, again, the Brighton Pier ghost train, which is just a mess. It's just a mess. So that's what this is supposed to be, but it's actually turned out to look alright, and I reckon we should just go on a ride. See, it's not Cursor Drakeford Manor at Reigate Lake level of detail or sophistication or anything, but it does what it needs to do for this place. It's alright. So we're going to come out this way, down the corridor, with lots of stuff that would be here that they've just not filled out. They've just forgotten, or it's completely unloved. It's like, yeah, it's fine, you're done on the ride now, see you later. So we're going to come around this way. And we've already done this bit, so we've talked about the dodgems. So let's have a look at Whirly-Rig. So the idea behind Whirly-Rig, and again this yellow pad, was it's a bit of an extension of this dragon coaster. The themes don't go together. They don't have any link whatsoever. There's no story. There's nothing to pull them together other than the colours, just because they're next to each other. So we're just gonna go with it. Originally, I did have a double queue, as you can see by the gap here, but I actually took it down to one queue because guests just don't go on it. But of course, Whirly-Rig is a classic. No park is complete without a Whirly-Rig. Best ride in Planet Coaster. And I actually remember seeing this for the first time in the alpha when it first came out, and it was definitely like, you knew this game was going to be good when this was out. It was like, yes. So we come down this way, monetized area. Like, this is just shouting spend money at you, like vending machines, an actual gift unit that's over here, food unit behind you. Oh, it's just like, spend money, please. You haven't spent money in a while. But then we come to Dragon. So Dragon was a coaster that I definitely wanted to give some kind of theming to. I wanted to put a little bit of effort into something because it is a kids coaster, and all of the other coasters are more like thrill coasters. So it sells itself based on the fact that there is a loop here, or it sells itself based on the beyond vertical drop. So like they sell themselves, but Dragon Coaster doesn't. It's just a kids coaster. It doesn't really do much. So how do you sell that? Well, you put some scenery in. If we had them in game, this would actually be a wacky worm. That's kind of the level of stuff that we're going for here. But because this is a bit more put together, I thought it needed to have a bit of a theme, and so that's what we've done. I'll see if I can get up the queue. There we go. So the station is very much themed on this fairy tale side. It's the castle stuff, using lots of wood and whatever. And then the other side down here, which you're going to see when we go on ride, it's all like dragons and all of the fun stuff that the kids would love. So yeah, I like the layout of this actually. It came together quite nicely. It's nice and short. It's questionable as to whether this would only be a 1 train 2 laps operation, but I've decided for this one I'm actually using it as a 2 train 1 lap. But you could probably get away with doing the other one. I mean, enough guests would not ride this to make this 2 laps, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm waffling. I reckon we should just go for a ride. See, it's all a little bit of fun. It's a kids coaster. What more can you expect? It's 30 seconds long. Happy days. So, going to go past our mate, the Knight, and then we're going to come back down this way and then back down to our trampolines. I wanted to put the trampolines here, by the way. I didn't mention this before because it's close to the kids coaster. This is where the kids are going to congregate, so this is like the fun bit. And apparently the barriers that I've got underneath it aren't working. It's fine. So we'll just keep going. And then we come back to the Lupo plane. And then this area here is intentionally kept clear for fire exit purposes and stuff, so I didn't want to clutter this out too much. But what we do have is a bit of signage and stuff that's all along the wall here. And then, of course, we've got some floodlighting and stuff, and the massive, massive exit signs, because this is just a wall of windows. That's it, right? So it's like you need to know how to get out. So we're going to come out this way. But what I love about this is when you do exit this way, the exit door then is not in front of you. It's like it's over here. So it's intentionally badly designed. It's just perfect. I love it. It's exactly how Tropicana was. So just to let you know that behind this wall here there would be a maintenance area, but I've just decided that I'm not going to do that because the series didn't lend itself to doing that. So, but you would have a maintenance area here, and I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do with that space behind there, because it's a bit of a hidden gem. What am I even doing with the camera? There we go. I'm gonna go back out this way, and then you just get some pretty decent views of the big wheel and the city and stuff that's behind it. The city, by the way, I didn't say this at the very beginning, the city is made up of buildings that were submitted for Fundy Fun Spot. I didn't make much effort with the skyline. I was just like, I'm just going to reuse those buildings because they were awesome, and they also needed a lot more love. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this tour. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this one. Again, as I said at the very beginning, this is very much a park with little care but lots of attention. And I quite like how it's turned out. Now I've seen it at guest level, it actually feels like how it should. And I'm chuffed. I cannot wait to see yours. I haven't filmed it yet. I haven't even looked at them. So I'm filming this in advance. I just know that I've got a lot of submissions. I can't wait. So I'll see you on Sunday for that. But guys, until we speak again, please look after yourselves. Take care. Bye-bye.